Hello everyone. You got Daniel Holt here and Greg Knight. This is another segment on winning the winter. And over the last few months we've been talking about things that we should do or things that we shouldn't do. And so in this segment we're going to kind of go through our injuries and accidents, and we're not really going to try to kill you with the data, but we're going to kind of show you where we are through January, and our physical year starts in October, so we got four months worth of data. Again, we're not going to kill you with it, but just let everybody know where we're at from an injury standpoint. Through 4 periods, we've got 8 injuries, as you can see on the screen. Not going to really read through those, but and we also had 8 injuries through this same time period for last year. So the big thing, as you can see in that the graph there at the bottom, is that there is 4 injuries in period 4. We were rocking along doing pretty good, and then January hit. And really, as you can see, the behavior piece of that is all around pace and eyes on path and eyes on task. So not anything that we haven't talked about before, but 8 is good, but it could be better, right? That's 8 folks that got hurt, and we definitely don't want to see that number grow, right? So, anything I missed, Greg? Anything?
No, and I think the thing to remember about this segment is we're wrapping up the Win in the Winter segment. Not to say that winter is gone everywhere, all across the United States where you all drive, but we're going to introduce something at the end, but what we're saying is we hope we're 5 weeks away from warmer weather all over.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, these injuries aren't anything weather related.
No.
So you guys did listen. Appreciate that, but we still got some opportunities out there. So we'll go on to the next slide, talking about preventable collisions, or you might hear say accidents. As you can see, we're a little bit over goal, right? And that's preventable collisions per million miles. As a group, again, that middle graph there, we're definitely above where we were last year. And then that bottom bar graph there kind of gives the breakdown of each terminal. So if you're in Terminal 1 or Terminal 2, you can definitely see where you guys are from period to period and how you compare to the rest of the Tyson fleet. Big thing there in the top right, you see we have backing and turning are our top collisions both for last year in FY22 and FY23. So that's still a concern and an issue for us. We've got to get out and look. I get it. I've never driven a truck full time. I've been in them, around them quite a while, but I definitely get, if it's raining, it's dark, hey, we've got to take that extra step, right? Because if we don't, then we can end up damaging the equipment or getting somebody hurt, and we certainly don't want that, right? And for those of you who do get out and look, we appreciate that. The other thing in this data set here is the graph there on the bottom. It's on my bottom right hand side as I'm looking at it, but that kind of shows us the number of collisions that we have at each facility. And so places to watch out for when you go into Fort Worth. It says Springdale. That's Springdale, kind of this Northwest Arkansas campus here. Olathe and Green Forest, right? That's where we tend to have most of our collisions because we do really good up and down the road, right, Greg?
Yes, sir.
Our opportunity is in at the facility yards and parking lots, truck stops. That's not on there, but I've seen quite a few of those here recently. But that's where our opportunity is, right? So don't let your guard down when you're there. Stay alert and stay on top of that. But overall, we're not in a bad position. Definitely could be better. So appreciate all of you guys who are out there doing things safe and working hard. And so the next thing that we're going to look at here is Greg has got some videos to go through with us over winter driving. So I'll hand it off to Greg.
So I know you all have heard me say this several times, and lots while we've been doing videos, but we're talking about behaviors. Not a specific accident, not a specific location, but our behaviors. And this video and the next video you're going to see, if it's you and this was your video, This is not meant to embarrass anyone. This is meant to give an actual picture of what's going on out there or what really happened. And what I'd like to talk about, instead of what is this, let's talk about the behavior. And in this behavior, as you're looking at the picture, it's going to be somewhere up here, I'm guessing. But the other side of the road where the other vehicles are, there's an actual building that you can't see, and it's because of the weather. And one of the things that the driver actually spoke of was how bad or how poor the weather conditions were. But we were driving too fast for conditions, and we may have been out driving our abilities. So, Richard, if you would hit that. Okay, so what really happened was we were going to go in between these trucks, and we were going to get slowed down, and we were probably going to get stopped. But what happened is there was weather, right? And so the weather allowed that trailer to release as we started to hit the brakes, and it spun around and it hit a flatbed kind of off the scene there. But the really unfortunate thing is the tractor trailer that we hit that's now in the middle of the screen, that was an older driver. He was standing up, changing shoes into what he could get out in, and we broke his back. So we have a guy that now we've injured. So now we not only have an accident, but we have an injury. It's a significant injury. And, it's bad to have an accident. It's worse to have somebody get hurt. So, Richard, if you would, give me the next one. There we go. All right, so most of you all, I'm sure, figured out really quickly that driver's bobtail. And so lots of bad things happen when we're bobtail, just out of rain, dew, could be some not even overly heavy winds. But we had snow and ice on the roads. We were going in the upper 50s, lower 60s, I think, if I remember correctly.
Mid-60s.
Mid-60s?
Yeah.
And now we change lanes. We go from a semi-clear lane to a lane that's got snow on it. We end up in a lane that's got snow and ice in it. There was somebody to our left that we put in jeopardy, and then the other trailer. So, all of that is to say we could have not only hurt ourselves, but we could have hurt someone else. And all because we were in a hurry. We had places to be. So I noticed that there was a doing it wrong, not so good, then doing it wrong. Now we're going to see what doing it right looks like. And how many times have you heard me say, I want y'all to be witness number 1 instead of vehicle number 2 or 3. So, if you would, Richard. And that was a ride for, I'm sure, whoever was in that dark-colored car. But we had good following distance. We were maintaining wide field of view. We were getting the big picture. And our driver saw, this is not going to go well. And so we back off. We let whatever's going to happen. That's going to give us the ability to be there to either render aid, call for help, or tell somebody, hey, you'll never guess what I saw today. But we were not involved. So that's 3 things that we talk about behaviors. We talk about what we want you to do, and that's exactly why we want you to do those things. So there you go. That's kind of the winter weather kind of in a nutshell. So,
and just watching these videos, to reiterate what Greg was saying, this is, these may, if you recognize this from being your video, it is not to shame anybody. We all learn from everybody, and that's the reason that we're sharing these, right? Because we want everybody to learn and to do better, right?
And we're adults. We learn best through doing, and we learn best through a story. This is a story through view, and that hits more than one sense. And so, hope this sticks with you.
Yep, absolutely. Appreciate everybody tuning in for these segments, and everybody that did videos. You know, a couple months ago we had some of you guys in here talking about how you win the winter. Certainly appreciate you guys doing that. One thing I would say before we get out of here, we're going to continue these segments on the podcast, and so look forward to what do we say? Surviving the spring.
Yeah.
So appreciate it.
And I said that I had a driver that called in, and I'm thankful to how many of you all send me messages or call in and want to talk and say, hey, you said this, or another driver said this, or we saw this on the video. That means I know you're watching it. But I had a driver that came and flopped down in the chair in my office, and y'all know I enjoy those times mostly. He said, would you tell the driver something when you're driving in the winter in the snow and the rain and the ice? And I said, sure. And he said, tell them to drive like they don't have brakes. That puts enough distance between them and whatever's in front of them that if they have to slow to a stop, they can. If something happens in front of them, there's plenty of time for them to react without hitting the brakes, and now they're part of an accident. So I thought that was a great idea. I thought that was a great thing, and easy to put it in your mind is when the weather's bad, drive like you don't have brakes. And to the driver that gave me that, thank you very much.
Thank y'all, and we'll see you guys next time on Surviving the Spring.
Bye, y'all.